I'm also curious, Tan, about your sort of work with Selling Sunset, because that is such a magical, important series that we have. And I'm so curious how that, like, were you having lunch with Ted Sarandos and you were like, you know what else I love is Selling Sunset? Should I do those reunions?
No. I mean, I do love Ted, and thankfully we have a really nice relationship. No, that's not, weirdly, that's not how it went down. They asked me if I watched the show, and quite honestly, this is a terrible thing to say, but I'm just going to say it. I don't watch reality TV shows. I just don't.
Tan, stop.
I'm much more, like everyone goes on about the Housewives. I'm like, I've never seen the Housewives. I don't watch reality. However, they because of how I am off screen, they knew that I would be able to handle the drama.
Wow.
I will say this. I truly believe, and I hope that anyone you've ever met who has worked with me will tell you the same thing. I like to always lead with kindness, and I'm very nice to everybody. But I also can handle a situation very, very easily. I was raised in a community where you learn to handle yourself real quick, and so I don't shy away from confrontation ever. And so handling a show like Selling Sunset wasn't difficult. I'm like, I can do this.
Wow, but were you, just from not being as in the throes of reality, when you were binging to like come up with your questions and navigating the relationships, were you lightly shook to your core though?
So I binged it all within one flight. I watched 4 seasons in one flight. I was flying back from London to LA the day before we shot it, and I hadn't.
Oh my God, your brain has holes in it now, probably from binging that much reality TV.
I couldn't believe what they were willing to talk about and fight about on TV.
Yes, it's shocking, but you were a good moderator, I have to say. It was impressive how you would get into, like, the questions that we all want answered, which is more sort of about the relationships of these women. And was like more, it was like salacious in a way that was good, because you were getting them to really talk it out, which I think is like a lot of times where we don't get anything out of a reunion necessarily. And I thought it was so good. But do you now maintain relationships with those women, or do you try and keep yourself out in case there's a reunion again?
I don't. So I made it really clear to them the first time I met them, just before we were about to start the reunion, that I will not follow any of you on Instagram. If you follow me, so be it. But we can't have a relationship outside of this set until my contract is over. I need to be able to be as non-biased as physically possible, and I've maintained that. When I see them at an event, it's very nice, but I try and keep a distance, which is so not my natural behavior. But I really want to do the best job I can. I will say it's the hardest job I do, and to be fair, I know I got a lot of criticism for how I handled myself on the reunion. I try not to look at comments, but my assistants will send me like a snapshot every week of what's gone on, and I did get a lot of pushback, but the main pushback was I should have ripped her weave out. I should have slapped this one. I'm like, no. My job is to not be one of the cast members. I'm there to ask the question and let them bury themselves. It is not my job to fight. My job's not Andy's job. Andy is the executive producer of those shows. His relationship with them is very different. I am there to only interview. Oh yeah. I'm not there to tell them who's really right or wrong. I'm there to ask the question.
No, I thought you did a great job. I thought you allowed them to be like more salacious than it needed to be. I thought it was great because you just let them hang themselves. It's so good. Yeah. It's so smart.
Thanks so
I'm here
much.
for it, which, I hope that there's a million more seasons of it, because it's just so, over the top ridiculous.